While the Trump team elevates conspiracy theories about immigrants, it is worth remembering that 2 years ago, J.D. Vance won his Senate race by stoking fears about migrants in the state of Ohio. As Tim Walz gets ready to debate Trump's running mate in less than a month, our next guest is the only Democrat to face Vance. Well, he's got some insight for Democrats. My friend, former Ohio Congressman Tim Ryan, joins me now. He founded the new organization, We the People. Tim, you get some credit because you were the first prominent Democrat to call for Joe Biden to step aside and for Kamala Harris to run for president. You got a lot of heat for it at the time.
Oh, I remember.
And last night, America got to see the Kamala Harris that you told us about.
Yeah.
How you feeling now?
I feel great. But she was awesome. I feel great for the country. I feel great for the party. She was just one of those, when you have talent, like any business almost, but if you have talent, you have smarts, and you're generally like wanting to learn, you're going to grow in whatever job you get into, even if that job at the time may be a little bit over your head. She had the 2020 election, which she would say I didn't run a great race, or didn't run a great race. She became VP. She just kept growing and growing and learning, and that's why I was like, "What are we doing? Like, this is the one that should take the mantle." And last night it was just so fun to watch. The only thing better was Fox News after watching the meltdown.
I wasn't watching Fox News, and I'm not sure why you were.
I got a lot of entertainment from that, Stephanie.
You would have gotten a lot here too. Well, let's talk about the VP debate.
Yeah.
Because it's less than a month away. You know, Tim Walz, you have debated J.D. Vance. He is mysterious, right? When you think about a guy like Tim Walz, he's very affable. He's someone that you would think might run for office. Huge likability factor. J.D. Vance has almost none, right? Similar to a Ron DeSantis. Yet both are in office. What's the key to running against this guy? I
think showing that personality, showing the likability, talking straight. J.D. can get into these very theoretical, high-minded conversations to try to explain the insanity of immigrants eating dogs or whatever. You can see him last night on some of the shows trying to explain that.
Well, that's not high-minded. That's the lowest level possible.
But it is low, but he tries to like get into some level of nuance. And I think Walz's strength is going to be the coach, the straight talk, the explanations that normal people can understand. The key is going to really be, don't let J.D. Vance get away with a bunch of his BS, because he will try to say, I've never said that. That's not what I meant. He'll try to wiggle out of some of these crazy things that he said and espouses. And I think Walz is actually the perfect person to just kind of call him out on it.
What do you think about this crazy conspiracy theory, right? Like, you know, Springfield, Ohio. And by the way, I just spoke to the county commissioner president. It's totally acceptable to say, we have a ton of migrants that have come to this area. We've got more than we can handle, and we got a problem. That's acceptable.
Yeah.
How does a conspiracy like this start? People are stealing, killing, and eating animals, right? When you're watching the debate, you know exactly where Springfield is. You know who lives there.
Yeah.
What went through your mind? How does something like this spread so fast?
Well, the analysis is like the white supremacist groups and some of these extreme groups online started to amplify it, and it's all about scaring people, and they think that's the best way to do it. People in Ohio are pretty normal people. You know, they may vote a little more conservative depending on the election, but
that's normal.
They're pretty normal people, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think the idea here, though, is immigration is complicated. There's no one that's going to say, like, this is easy. And I thought what Trump did last night put him in a lane, obviously in so many ways, but on the extremism, eating dogs and cats and all that craziness. So the question is, if this is so complicated, if we need immigrants, if they work really hard, like a lot of the CEOs in Springfield have said, like, I would hire 30 more Haitians because they work so hard. But we can't have too many. There needs to be a process. You can't just come in and skip the line. That's a complicated conversation. Who is the leader running right now that can actually bring us together and say, let's have this complicated conversation. Let's admit it's complicated, not try to demagogue it. And I think that's where Kamala over the next month or two is really going to, I think, create a lot of space between Trump.
Well, that's not what he's doing. His fear-mongering has gone so far that he's upset an Ohio family that's faced enough grief and tragedy. The father of a young boy who was killed in a car crash in Ohio is actually demanding an apology from both J.D. Vance and Donald Trump after they cited this young boy's death as a reason to stop Haitian immigration. I want to play just a bit of that. Please watch this.
J.D. Vance and Donald Trump. They have spoken my son's name and used his death for political gain. This needs to stop now. They can vomit all the hate they want about illegal immigrants, the border crisis, and even untrue claims about fluffy pets being ravaged and eaten by community members. However, they are not allowed, nor have they ever been allowed to mention Aiden Clark from Springfield, Ohio. I will listen to them one more time to hear their apologies.
People from Ohio, you just said, are normal. That is not normal. That is a father who is extraordinary.
Yeah.
His son was killed in an accident.
Yeah. I mean, it's heartbreaking to watch because anybody who has kids puts themselves in that situation. But what it really illustrates is there is nobody who can't be used by Donald Trump and J.D. Vance to score political points. No grieving family, no complicated immigration situation, no woman who has a complicated pregnancy. Like, those are all pawns in the game. And I think that's the exhaustion that America sees right now. And I think they're going to reject that because it's not American, it's not human, it's not kind, it's not compassionate. And that's what you see, and it's really sad to watch because that poor family, like when this show's over and the story subsides, they'll never be the same. And you watch two politicians just use them.
It's also not a game.
No,
it's our lives.